Mayor Layton, members of council, I've been attending these council meetings for the past year. In that time period, I have found little, if any, sustenance in terms of information coming forth from the mayor or members of council. Tonight was the first time I heard, that's the most I've ever heard. Whoever has asked questions seeking information on issues I brought forth, the chairman immediately interrupted me stating, Mr. Walsh, we will not answer your questions or continuing your questions will be answered when concluded. The fact of the matter rarely is ever, if ever, are my questions answered. The chairman is more intent on reminding me of my time and stating my questions will be answered when I conclude my remarks. He is more intent on reminding me of the rules of meetings. I have witnessed this tactic time and time again in organizations. Its purpose is to reduce the possibility of questions being asked, placing them in an uncomfortable situation. It's a form of intimidation toward the person speaking, disrupting their train of thought, reducing their time frame, and in general protecting themselves from having to answer questions which might be intimidating or exposing. This has been done to me at these meetings time to time again. A perfect example is the chairman forbidding me from asking any questions, any members of council, for answers regarding our national symbol, the United States flag, and its meaning and respect. Again, why? Never receive an explanation, just a typical response. Mr. Walsh, continue, we will answer when you're finished. Fact is, the questions are never answered. I've always considered myself my own person, and no chairman is going to prevent me from expressing my constitutional right of freedom of speech. I've displayed that fact my whole life. The only exception is the military, where the military code is different than civil code. If I were sitting where you are and a citizen wanted to an answer to a question and I wanted to respond, there's no chairman or mayor going to prohibit me from my answering. I was elected by the people to serve them and took a note to that effect. And serve and answer their questions I would do. Anything less is violating the oath I took. There's no mayor or chairman going to deny me my constitutional right of freedom of speech as a council member. A perfect example is the preventing me from asking members of council for answers pertaining to our national symbol, the American flag, and its meaning and respect. That was some months ago. There's no need to forbid a council member from responding to questions put forth by a citizen. It's a violation of a person's constitutional right of freedom of speech by the denial. Where does a mayor or chairman receive the power prohibiting members of council answering questions put forth by the citizens looking for answers? Why the restriction? I'm going to ask you, Mr. Chairman, a forthright question for which I respectfully ask a forthright answer. Are members of council under a gag order by the mayor or chairman forbidding them from answering any questions from the citizens in attendance? Please answer yes or no and explain your answer.
Are you finished with your presentation?
What's that?
Are you finished with your presentation?
No.
I will answer your question, but are you finished with what you have?
No.
Why don't you continue with your
All right.
presentation?
If they are under a gag order, why bother attending the meetings? They're just pawns. I never hear readings of minutes from a previous meeting. Why? If there are errors or omissions, we have a right to know and make the corrections if necessary. At the last two meetings, I presented photos for your sight and information of conditions of properties in violation of the city property code. Should a progress report be reported at the council meetings for the citizens to hear? For instance, what if anything has been done pertaining to Charles Decker Flower Shop at Blackman and Mayor Street? Also the property on Loomis Street that I have brought to your attention. Are they in compliance with the city property code? We never hear any respect and reports. Why? Neighbors in the vicinity of a property at the corner of Blackman and Loomis Street are concerned the building is a place suspected of being a drug house. It's been advertised in its storefront as a barber shop, and and then a few days later, a beauty salon. Some days it was display a sign open. A few days later, closed. This has been the routine for months. It's been rumored. Drug deals have been seen outside the property and suspected drug dealings being made. This property is just across the street from the Pitcher's Mound bar that was raided and closed several months ago. Charles Decker is owner of both of these properties. In addition, he owns several other properties in close proximity to those just mentioned. I have copies of the deeds he owns to these properties. Mayor and council members, the people are the eyes and ears of our communities and cities, which are the heart of our country. Some 40 years ago, there was a group of citizens in Wyoming Valley, many of whom were, as they say, pillars of the community. And under the guise of consolidation of metropolitan government, were promoting steps toward world government. Metropolitan government was consolidating all our small communities into one.
Mr. Walsh, I'm going to ask you to finish your presentation. We'll answer your questions.
What's that?
We're a little over time, but I'm going to ask you to finish your presentation, then we'll answer your questions that you may have.
This group was going to rule to take away the rights of these communities to govern themselves. You may not know it, but at one time the Anthracite region from Carbondale to Pottsville had communist cells. The headquarters was located in the Sunray building located on South Main Street, where the parkade is now located. In the 30s, local American Legion members broke up a communist group parade in Central City. They took the American flag from them. Make no mistake about it, the force of evil is prevalent throughout our country, bent on taking control. Our only hope to preserve our nation is trust in God and alert citizens, and I consider myself one of those citizens. God has blessed America. Let's not betray that blessing.
Okay. Your first issue had to do with what you called a gag order on members of council. And I can assure you that all members of council can speak freely, answer any questions that you may have, and address any issues that are brought up at any of these meetings. There never has been, and nor will there ever be a gag order placed on anyone here, and just as there is none on you or any member here, any resident or guest here in attendance this evening.
I contradict what you just said.
I'm just telling you that there
Well,
never has been a gag order, there never will be, unless it's a court-imposed gag order on a specific item, then certainly all members here at council are free to.
There may not be a written gag order.
There's no, believe me, I'm not going to.
Mr. Walsh, there is no gag order. I have never had a gag order put on me.
Okay, all right.
Did you want
That's
to?
the question I asked.
The other issue that you brought up, you mentioned about complaints, and you had brought up some valid complaints about problem properties and presented photographs and specific information, which we appreciate, and that was forwarded to the administration, and I believe they provided you a very timely response and details to what they actually did with those problem properties.
I have never heard anything.
I sat here and heard them tell you that they were addressed, unless I was mistaken, but I clearly heard them say that they issued summons, they did whatever they did, and so I mean, I'm kind of at a loss as to what you're speaking about.
Well, I haven't ever heard anything of what they did.
Other members, I mean, is it?
Yes, they did mention it at a meeting.
And did give you, I thought they gave you a satisfactory response that they immediately.
I have not heard anything. Now,
Okay, if we have some unresolved ones, we will, and we're not gonna go back and forth, but let us know, we'll,
That's-
I just wanted to address this.
go ahead.
Mr. Walsh, on the flower shop, I believe that you spoke directly with Joe Rodano, who was the inspector. He'd been up there a number of times. I was up there. I know that the gentleman took some measures. It was behind the flower shop. But you have talked to Joe Rodano a number of times. Isn't that true?
I think on one occasion, maybe, possibly two.
Okay. And I actually spoke to Mike Simonson today, who is a building inspector. You had a long conversation with him, as I understand, within days, a few days or so?
Yeah, yesterday.
Okay, and he told you, tell me what properties you want me to look at, he'll look at them and he'll get back to you. Did he say, did he let you know that?
Yes, he was very cooperative,
He
yes.
is, he's.
And I respect him. But the thing is this, I'm going around, I'm taking pictures, I went around today and take some more pictures. In other words, when as I've always said, I try to get the facts. I don't go on hearsay. And I will try to document everything I do. And I'm taking pictures. And I'm going to make a collage of those properties and present it to Mr. Simonson with the addresses.
That could only be helpful.
Now that's only in my neighborhood alone.
I know.
There must be 10 or 12 of them.
Right.
God knows how many there are.
Any information you can provide would certainly be appreciated. We'll be
Absolutely.
forwarded to the appropriate
No question.
personnel to look into it, and I can assure you that they will get back to you. I'm sure Mr. McCormick.
Now, you said with regards to answering my questions, when I asked you some time back, and I started asking questions about the American flag, and you said, Mr. Walsh, we are not going to answer your questions. So that contradicts what you just said a few minutes ago.
Okay, well, there is no.
So you were speaking for everybody.
And anyone here can speak as well. We're
But
not
they
gonna go
didn't.
back and forth,
But they did, if they had any thoughts, they
they
didn't.
certainly could. Okay?
Which lends me to believe they're not supposed to.
Well, they could. They
Well,
could.
I'd like to hear it, because I don't hear anything.
They certainly could, but we're not gonna go back and forth and.
That's what
talk
we're here
about- There's no
for.
gag order.
That's what we're here for.
I appreciate that, okay?
We're here for that, to iron out our differences.
Correct.
Not
Hopefully
to
we
be,
don't
not
have
to,
differences.
not to
We
be
have-
hamstrung.
Hopefully we don't have differences, we want to be on the same page, not have differences.
We're here to try to better the community.
Agreed. But anyway, would you, make sure Mr. Wallace has any suggestions?
And you know what I'd like to hear? I'd like to hear the minutes of the meetings. I never hear a report of any minutes of a meeting. That's mandatory in an organization.
Yeah.
You read the minutes of the previous meeting.
If you
I
want
never
to
hear
come in,
any.
Mr. Ryan will show you all the minutes of all the meetings, you're certainly entitled to do them.
I never hear any of the minutes of the meeting.
We do receive them. Okay? Thank you.
Okay,